Thanks for staying with us. Let's now take you through the front pages of Nigerian newspapers to see what the headlines are. And when we're done, we'll come back to analyze some of the major stories we will be seeing today. The Nation newspaper will be our first, as the conversation on 2027 makes the front burner right there. Position early, 2027 moves won't distract Tinubu, says Idris. That is the Minister of Information being quoted right there. Okay, and we'll run quickly to the Punch newspaper. And we see something else right here on the same matter. Mark cautions Atiku Obi as FG slams coalition chiefs. Well, that is really drawing drums together. The blueprint is where we're going to, and this time around, Senate is asking the reps to on bills concurrence, not garbage in, garbage out. Some kind of a pattern of bills passage in the National Assembly. That is the makeup for politics as we run now to education. And The Guardian is leading the way for us right here on this one. And we see here varsities fume as FG fixes 150 cut-off mark and 16 years admission age. We'll tell you exactly what that would mean. News Direct takes us further. 2025 and 2026 mixed reactions greet 150 cutoff mark as FG pegs admission age at 16. Well, I'm thinking that everybody would be happy about this, right? The Platform Times would show us something else right here as well. Same matter. Anger, outrage as VCs peg varsity cutoff at 150, polytechnics at 100. All right. And the Hope newspaper would be taking us further on the same matter as well. And right here, minimum age for varsity policy admission now 16. Okay. Good times for them. Now we shift our attention to this Nigeria, which is shining the spotlight on the continuing Natasha matter. Senate reconvenes, Natasha stays away. I didn't resume based on legal advice, says Kogi Central Senator. We will talk more about that when we come back for the analysis. But mine is that one day we want to see this come to an end. The Daily Independent is taking us on agriculture right here. An issue on livestock. Doubling Nigeria's milk production in 5 years, unrealistic. This is according to experts. We would dive into that to see why they are saying so. And the leadership, true to its name, is taking us to Kano, where the issue of the emirate is making the front burner right there. My supporters acted in self-defense, quoting Emir Bayero. All right, we'll see more about that. But the Sporting Life, where we'll peg it off this morning, and quite quickly there, we see Chelsea zooming into final on the ongoing quest to pick up the cup. We'll talk about that. And at the right corner of it, I see my guy or Seaman. We're going to tell you exactly what that would be. But Veronica Etoma and Ria, the beautiful one. Not that Vera is, you know, Vera just stands by herself. First lady she is. We're all on the table to do this together. Ladies and gentlemen, Etoma, 2027 seems like an everyday conversation on the Nigerian newspapers, you know, and the Minister of Information is saying it will not distract the president. Of course, it should not distract him. We're not there yet.
I said it here once that my worry is that the campaign conversations are heated up too early for me. I was expecting that we're going to have this kind of frequency of politics, and all that later on in the year, not now, you know. But that's the way it is. Now, why would the minister come out and say that all this will not distract Mr. President? That means the intensity is really high and it has come to his notice. But you see, being a president means you should be able to multitask. And he has been a governor before, so it's not too strange for him. he can definitely focus on governance, no matter the political noise that is beating around him.
Indeed. And Veronica, really, you know, when Etuma spoke about that, the fact that the minister had to even say that in the first instance, it shows something is really brewing behind the scenes, don't you think?
Well, things always brew behind the scene, or be even in front
of the scene.
Of the scene itself. But whatever it is, I think that it is expected that we have all sorts of conversations when you're talking about election coming up. And so you will hear people say all sorts of things, and you will see different things. Yes, I don't think that the kinds of conversations around 2027 is too early, because we already know how 2023 happened, and that a lot of persons have not recovered from it. And so they keep they are just about planning towards 2027 so that what they felt happened to them will not happen again. And so they are planning stages, and so you hear all sorts of conversations around it. So I am all up for the drama. I'm watching it.
The drama doesn't good on the table, Ria.
I know.
And Ria, if I would take you to the Punch newspaper, you know, there's a rider there for the headline which says the presidency mark clash over Tinubu's reforms. Some of the reasons, according to them, why this third force of ADC has been, you know, formed together is to challenge the incumbent based on some of his economic policies.
Yeah, and I say opposition will always be opposition, and we want a viable opposition, of course, because we're in democracy. But what I'll say to our president is we should focus on governance rather than politics, because a lot is happening right now. Nigerians are going through a lot: insecurity, food. You can go on and on. 2027, yes, is almost here, but still there is a lot to be done, rather than listening to opposition and now, you know, just distracting from the work that is supposed to be done. Because opposition will definitely talk. That is their work. Their work is to criticize. So as they're criticizing, your work is to be making sure that your government is standing tall. And that's why I'll say, please focus on governance rather than, you know, the noise that will be heard. Focus on making Nigeria better. Focus on people not suffering rather than the politics of it.
Well, because it's really important, which is where the coalition force and any other force would you know, capitalize on. If there is a lacuna in governance between now and then, it will be a good campaign slogan, if I would use that, for an opposition party.
The opposition will jump on it. They will jump on the fact that, look, you are giving too much attention to politics and not governance. They will give you a list of things that you should have been focused on. They will give you statistics, and they will give you examples of other leaders that had done similar stuff and the results they had. That is why it is so important that Mr. President stays focused.
That's right.
On governance.
That's right.
Because, man, opposition is not only made up of politicians, they are intellectuals there too.
And it's their work to criticize. That is what they're supposed to do.
That's what they do.
Right. And Etoma, let me stay with you as we head to the Blueprint newspaper. Another matter right there. On flood, NEMA deploys ambulances in Akwa Ibom, Kaduna, and Imo State. It says no water was released from Lagdo Dam, quoting the federal government. You know, if the I'm just thinking again. This is some sort of like an aftermath rescue of, you know, bringing ambulances to the area to rescue the persons. But I've always said this over and over again. Why must we always be reactive as opposed to being proactive?
You're asking the person that has asked that question a zillion times. You know, we are more reactive than proactive. But however, we, in being reactive this time, they did something really nice. That brought the ambulances, they conveyed the people, and NEMA was there to show. And I have to also commend NIMET for the beautiful work they've done at this period. They have been proactive. Yeah. You know, they have been...
in telling us what is going to be.
Yes, what is going to be. And, you know, you tell people these things. Nigerians have sentimental attachments to where they live, whether it's their villages or their rented apartments in town. We have sentimental attachments to them to a point where I'm not going anywhere, even if the flood is coming. You know, I just pray and I hope and want to use this opportunity to inform them that these agencies see these things because they have special equipment for that and special training for that. So if they say it is best for you to evacuate, please evacuate. Simple.
I couldn't agree less. And Veronica, let me take you to the Guardian newspaper as we turn our attention to the matters of education. It's making the rounds this morning that universities are fuming against this new federal government's cutoff JAM mark at 150 and 16 years for admission. I remember I scored way close to 300 and I couldn't get admission at my time. If it was 150, boy, I would have been just rolling into the university. This is cheap.
It's really cheap. Our parents finding it cheap. It's a reflection of how low we have gotten when you're talking about matters of education. It's a reflection of our commitment to education and not just on the part of the parents, but also on the part of government. You see lecturers saying they are going on strike and all of it. You're seeing parents talking about, oh, my child, this one, that one. They want to help their child get into school at whatever age, whatever, trying to push their dreams on their children or not allowing their children live the life they should live. It's a complex matter. Unfortunately, 150, for instance, if you divide that by 4, well, what is the score for each subject at the end of the day? It's sad. You look at nursing school, you have 140. You look at polytechnics, it's 100. That's 25. I mean, isn't that supposed to be F in the first place? It's sad that this is how low. In the next 10 years, would you now say it's free for all at the end of the day? I'm concerned that successive governments, I will not just say this administration, but successive government, because government is a continuum, have seemingly failed regarding this matter of education. Not putting the right structures in place, not ensuring that we give attention to education as much as we should. A lot of people do not even value education as much. Yes, we see a number of people take their children outside of the country to educate them because they feel that we are not getting that quality. Yeah. When you're looking at the standards Nigeria has and standards across the world, we are very far, and now we are not even bridging the gap. We are increasing that gap with this kind of score. Because what is the quality that these children will get such that they can't position themselves against their counterparts across the world? We need to rethink education.
Indeed. Ria, if you would take us to Ghana, I just want to know, really, how does it work in Ghana? I mean, do you guys do a JAMB or UTME?
So there's WASI, but before we even go to Ghana, I feel like 150 over 400 is a very big disgrace. Honestly speaking, I would say it's a big disgrace because that is like a big F9. And I don't understand the fact that we are now bringing it low. And I feel like the students should even be angry about this because first of all, we are saying the students cannot get the right cutoff marks. You said you got 300. You know, those times that you are reading, you are making sure you're passing. But like, you cannot tell me you are passing 150 over 400. It doesn't even make sense. And that's why we're talking about the educational system in Nigeria. There's a lot that needs to be done. Recently, we celebrated the students in Delta that did really well. And we see that these students are intelligent, but sometimes it just looks like education is not taken seriously. We have really intelligent students in Nigeria. So I feel like this is even a very big disgrace on even the students that are really, we have intelligent people, Nelson, when we talk about students that will even beat 300 and go higher. You know, so I feel like whoever brought about this is really sad, and that's why most of the times you see that Nigerian students are leaving to, you know, go to schools in other places, talk about Ghana, talk about abroad. The reason why they go to Ghana most of the times is because there's no strike. If they say it's 3 years, you spend your 3 years. You're not waiting for us to strike, waiting back at home and all of that. But I think that this is a big disgrace, and I hope that we can truly work on this, because if we don't, in years to come by, they'll tell you that it's 20 or it's 30. And
this translates to the fact that 37.5% is a pass mark in Nigeria.
Divided by 4.
Yes.
How? That is too low.
You know, when you break it down like that, it becomes clear. 37.5% is pass, my dear.
And I think parents should really revolt over. I think parents are the ones who come out and say this cannot work. The parents should even not support this, because if your child brings back 150 over 40, I will spank you. You've wasted my school fees.
What we have seen regarding parents in our society, not all of them, but we see a huge chunk of parents supporting their children to go to center comes to education, just let him go, let him go. So
where
do we now have those who will be consultants?
That's right.
Those who will be experts later in the future? Because the future of our country is hanging on the balance as we speak, if this is what we are talking about. Who are those ones that we can say, these ones learned these lessons as they should and have been equipped with the right knowledge? If you are just pushing everybody to go just like that, then it means that our classrooms will be full to capacity, and then a lot of persons will not be able to learn. We haven't really understood the implication of what we have done. Right now, we are talking about capacity of schools to handle the number of students, and now you're having 150. Which is more. Do you know? A lot of people will not even understand what is going on. Lecturers may not be able to handle the number of students that will be coming in.
That's right.
And here they are grumbling about the salaries you're paying them. It is crumbling. We need to do something.
And Veronica, just to you said something about, parents, the parents that do that, I tell you, at the end of the day, they face the consequences. Because if you're saying it's just to push your child, no matter what, let him go, I tell you what, at the end of the day, you realize that pushing you pushed him is either he will lag behind when he gets to, when he gets to like proper profession, he's right to do the job, you see that he will lag behind. So if you're a parent and you're doing that, it's horrible. You're not even helping your child. I'll say you're not helping your child at all.
I did a documentary on the state of education in this country, and one of the persons I spoke with was Dr. Suraj of the University of Lagos. And to buttress what you just mentioned a few seconds ago, Veronica, the issue of the ratio of student to lecturer. And he told me the UNESCO's ratio, standard for that. I think it's about 30 to a lecturer. 30. And then he told me, do you know how many students I have in my class? Sometimes I speak, they can't even hear me from the back.
How many of them have microphones in the lecture hall?
By the time, like you said, we have a 150 cutoff mark. Again, the other conversation is trying to balance that, the number between the north and the south. Yeah. Kind of like it's higher here than the other way. So we're like, okay, you know what? Let's level everybody down together. But that's lowering the standard, like you're saying. This, I don't know how the federal government really wants to manage this.
You see,
we don't have enough to carry everybody.
What concerns me is that people that will go to study medicine,
we now have 150?
150.
And you said
medicine. you get what I'm saying? Law. The people that are going to study economics.
You mentioning this now, the practical sessions, how are they going to handle the huge number? Because for a course like medicine, there are practical sessions.
That's right.
How are you going to handle the number? It means that a parent should be ready to pay for whatever it is, because the school does not have enough resource to cater to the number. And so it means that if you want to be part of the practicals, whatever it is other students who were able to get access to those materials you have to pay, or students will have to now go and get it whichever way they can and bring it to the class so they can carry on their hands-on practicals. Because okay.
But I don't even think this will work.
This policy just has to change.
It has to change. I really don't think it will work.
So lowering the score point is actually making education more expensive.
At the end of the day.
At the end of the day, it makes it more expensive, yes.
Well said, ladies and gentlemen. Let's quickly make our way to the Platform Times newspaper this morning. Or rather, is that the News Direct, please. And I would like to shift your attention, Etoma, on this one to Labour Party, which is moving to expel Peter Obi, according to them, for alleged anti-party activities. Now, remember, Labour Party has two factions. One of them is with him. The other says, we're not with you, sir. What's going on here?
It's freedom of speech.
Right.
Somebody said, in Nigeria, we enjoy freedom of speech. What we don't enjoy is freedom after the speech. One part is saying, we're going to expel you. Did Peter Obi respond? And the other part is saying, forget these people that are throwing fake news around. Labour Party has not even planned to expel the man. At the end of the day, we'll just wait and see what happens. It's politicians talking.
But I was thinking, Peter Obi, who rode on such a populous wing, would have enough wings to keep everybody together as one party.
Look, Peter Obi, during the campaigns, the last campaigns, was he chose Labour Party, to fulfill his ambition of running for president of Nigeria. But the support base he had wasn't from Labour Party itself. It was just a group of youth that say, this is the man we identify with, and they give themselves a name. They were not directly members of Labour Party. When we are talking about him and that campaign and his political fortunes or misfortunes, as depending on where you stand, we should always remember that there was a big difference between Labour Party and the Obedient Movement.
Indeed. And Veronica, let me take you to the Platform Times this morning. Yes, Platform Times. And there's something here I want us to talk about. At the top right corner of it, Bajabia Amila, Nigerians want roads, water, but blame lawmakers for budget insertions. What Baja was trying to say here is that sometimes when the bills come for budget analysis, lawmakers insert what we now call budget padding. Insert, those kind of things, looking at the conversations or the complaints or the request of citizenry from all around the country. The question I want to ask you, I'm assuming you are in the House, is that the right way for our grievances to be heard and then expressed through insertions into the budget?
The thing I thank God for.
You're not.
I'm not in the House.
I can understand.
Because he said he's speaking to me as if I'm in the House. But you see, I am right here with you.
You're in the table, not in the House.
But I think that you do not use that as an excuse to do the wrong thing, saying they are making demands. Of course, they have a right to demand. That is why talks about the practice of true federalism is still on the front burner in Nigeria. Because if the various levels of government are functioning at the level they should, certain questions and issues that he has raised would not be pushed over to him or those in the House of Representatives. It will be pushed to perhaps the local government chairman, whoever it is that are meant to address these issues. Yes, as a member of the House of Reps, you have certain monies, you are given certain allocations, you are given certain things to handle, but then if you are not doing it, shouldn't your people ask you questions? Of course, you would have to respond to the questions your people are asking you and making demands of you. If it is outside of your budgetary allocation as a member of the House of Reps or be you a senator, then you should begin to tell them, young people, it is not here, or this one cannot be accommodated right now. What kind of conversation is he having with these people? How has he been responding to them? What are the issues that they have been bringing to his front burner? How are you now blaming the people for the padding that is being done? I think that it is a matter of not wanting to take responsibility, but to shift blames to people who cannot defend themselves as we speak, because they are not there. So it is sad that he, as a leader, as an influencer, is saying something like this, that this is why people in the National Assembly are padding the budget, because if it is not within your budget, if it is not within your constituency project and all of that, tell them it is not now, we are handling it. That's and they will not kill you for it.
That's right.
And the fact that he said they want, it's not about wanting, it's about needing, and it's our right to need. So I don't even think the statement was actually put right, because it's not about wanting. We need is our constitutional right to have good road and water.
Well, I wish we could stay on the Hope newspaper, which is also very bold on the university conversation. But let's make our way to this Nigeria. And Ria, the conversation of Natasha Akpotudwagan's matter is right here. I didn't resume based on legal advice, she says, and Senate Counters House says 6 concurrent bills have been passed last week. Natasha is saying she didn't go to the House because of legal advice. What is she supposed to be doing at this time?
No, but I also like the fact that she's listening to legal advice and is doing the right thing. But my only problem with her not being there, the people of the Kogi Central people are really suffering because now their voice is not being heard, you know, for a period of time. I really hope that it's been able to be resolved and she gets back, because the Natasha issue has been back and forth. We've gone back, forth, and now we heard that, you know, the judgment that was given on her was too tough, was too hard, so she has to go back, which is a good one. You know, I'm happy that she gets to go back to represent the Kogi people because they have been lacking behind as well. And I think that is also right for her to, you know, follow legal process. You know, we've been saying that she's not been following legal process, so she wants to do it the right way. So go Natasha.
Well, I just want at the end of the day that this matter, you know, is laid to rest.
It will not be laid to rest if she does not give proof for those accusations. Those were weighty allegations.
Oh boy.
And so that matter would, even if it is covered now or swept under the carpet, it would always come back at some point.
That's right.
That people would ask, where are the allegations, or where are the proofs and evidence of the allegations you made?
You know, Veronica, I wish she had handled this better initially. When some of those, should I use the word recommendations or whatever was made, it could have been long gone. And but you know,
what I wish she did was brought out the evidence when everything was heated. That's what I think she should have done. You know,
for me, when a judgment like this is given, especially when it has to do with an institution, not just an individual, even an individual, you have to wait for a certified true copy of that judgment to be served at the institution before you, Natasha in this case, would go to the National Assembly. But she announced boldly that by Wednesday she will be there, you know, and she listened to legal advice. Funny enough, she's a lawyer.
Well,
riding a media frenzy, it's okay.
It's working for her. The Daily Independent is talking about agriculture right here, and experts are saying that, Etoma, this is for you now, doubling Nigeria's milk production in 5 years is unrealistic. I was thinking, and correct me if I'm wrong, I'm asking as a layman here now in this matter, I thought we had enough cows for milk. I'm just thinking.
They'll say we're over 250 million, allegedly.
That's right.
Over 250 million. How many cows do we have?
That can feed us.
That can give us milk. And then doubling maize production in 5 years, it's not completely impossible, but it will be very difficult because it takes a lot. First of all, you have to get plenty of people now that are not farmers to go to the farms and start farming maize. That means you would have created a very lucrative market for it, you know, that will attract people to want to plant it and so on. And these things take time. That's why the experts are saying it's not realistic. To me, that's the only argument I can see, you know, but that if we have 10 million new farmers planting only maize in the next 2 years, that's achievable.
Indeed,
yes.
Indeed. I mean, to feed us, so we can always get protein from other kind of sources, right? Except from milk alone. Right. Veronica, I wish we could stay on the ADC matter there, but let me take you to the Leadership newspaper and the conversation on the emirate in Kano State. Bayero here has been quoted that his supporters acted in self-defense. When exactly are we going to see some kind of peace between, if I would say, the Emir Sanusi's faction and Emir Bayero's faction as well? This is one state.
It's interesting that these people are brothers, and we are seeing what is going on because of the seat as it is. Although the police is investigating the matter as we speak, so I wouldn't want to touch on a number of things. It's sad. They said that they were passing a particular route, and the others have accused them for passing that route intentionally, knowing that they were not supposed to follow that and all of that. And here we are. And matters, you know, just sprang up, and then there was chaos, and here we are. My concern is I hope the police will be able to stem the tide of any issue. You know how Kano is when it comes to these matters. They're very sensitive people, and if it is not put under control, it could spiral out of control as it is. So I hope that the police address this matter at the root. Let's get to the end of it. There are court cases already that one person is holding on to, another person is also holding on to another person's court matters. There are persons that have been asked to leave the palace area as we speak. So there are dimensions to this, and it goes back in history, which we cannot really talk about here. But my concern is, let this matter come to an end.
That is
so
it.
that whoever needs to take the reins of power can focus. We've been talking about focus here now.
Yeah.
And not be distracted by these seemingly little issues.
That's right.
That shouldn't even come up in the first place. All because of, I belong to a faction.
The people of that state deserve peace.
And it hurts me
Absolutely.
when families are also having this kind of issues. I just hope that the people will be brought to book at the end of the day.
Sorry, what hurts me is that it's a traditional institution. That means that institution has been there for centuries.
I mean,
there's a process, you know. It's been
let's adhere to
politicized.
it. And let me take you all to the Sporting Life, which is where we would draw the curtains on the newspaper today. And Napoli, remember on this table, I was asking Osime to borrow my brains to think about his bargain from one club to the other. Napoli is helping me a little bit out. They're telling him, Osime, get a new club this week, or forget it. It's time for him to get a new club then, finally.
I say it's drawn for so long. You know, I think that you should just settle with one at the end of the day. And I've said it a lot of times. The money, yes, we're looking for your career. The future is very important. But please settle where the money really lies.
You know, I just wanted to be sarcastic with Ria. How many men have been asking her, and has she settled?
Anyway, it is on that note we need to move forward.
We need to move forward.
After the break, we will focus on reviewing the